Yes. Ah, do I have to read the slide again? No. I think if anyone's joined the call from now, I'm so sorry. I forgot to press the record button, and you just read this little bit for here. Okay. Anyone else want to share a task demand that they've or an avoidance that they've experienced?
I tend to be on the receiving end of it. So it's like I think a little bit like what Laura says. Then my missus, if I had to ask or say or guide my missus at all in anything, she just digs her heels in. She'll deliberately just tell me. If I ask her anything, I know she's going to say "fuck off" straight away, and she's just going to kill it straight away. But then I've got to leave it a week to sort of mellow. So I need anything I need to do in my life. I've got to take a run up at it. But But no, but things just happen that I know are going to be bad. It's like, we've got the walkie thingy in Wales, we're going hiking in Wales. So I've planted that. She's not happy about that, but I'm doing that anyway. Great. The following weekend now, I've been offered to go to Chester races on corporate, all paid for, night in hotel, freebie.
Oh, you got to go.
Your brain dead not to do it. Yeah, that's gone down like a knackered lift. So
Got
I've got this
seas.
conflict.
Plant the seeds. Maybe some nice little I'm thinking this weekend I'm going to take you away here. A little, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but that's it's like I just seem to be in this, and she's just fuming now.
Yeah.
But I have found since I've kind of found my boundaries and found myself again by doing all this ADHD thing. Um, yeah, it's not settling so well. She seems to be quite annoyed that I'm kind of doing things and finding things like doing this tonight. She finds it highly irritating, and I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't think she wants to be like not to think, but I'm doing something and it doesn't involve her, and she's like, yeah, it's a strange set of circumstances, and I
Yeah.
don't
I
think
wonder if she sees that you going off and doing,
stuff.
I don't know for sure, but whether that's potentially like a bit of loss in her life because then she doesn't get that time from you. So it may be that her, maybe one of her love languages is quality time, and she feels like if you're going off and doing all these things, and she's losing some of that. So maybe try and, I don't know, dedicate some time to her where it's really good quality time. You've come up with the date or whatever it is and try and
Well, we've just done a week in Italy, which was like fantastic, but that's happened now. As soon as it's happened, it's gone.
yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore. It never happened. But yeah, it's
Okay, so reframing the task at the time. So obviously, this is all well and good us saying this stuff now, right? And having the understanding and kind of laughing about it and going, yeah, I did that. I do that. And it's when it's happening at the time. So it takes a lot of awareness, as most of this stuff does with ADHD. So just being aware when these feelings crop up, when it's starting to show up and someone has said something and you can feel that inner toddler in you starting to have a wobble and a tantrum, just pause and just kind of gently ask yourself, okay, wait a minute, something's happening here. Let's just get still for a second, take a deep breath. We can reframe the task. So instead of, I have to do this, they have demanded this from me. How dare they? Let's reframe it and try and say, I choose to do this because future me is going to thank me. Or I choose to do this because I can, because I have free will. And actually, I'm going to do it and I'm going to set a timer. So, okay, turn it into a game. So, use a timer, do it as a silly challenge, or pretend you're on a cooking show. Cooking show. um, so, number two, say it out loud to yourself. So, this isn't pressure, this is support. So, someone saying, Are you ready yet? It might not be them saying, Oh my God, are you ready yet? You've taken so long. It might not be judgment. It might just them trying to gently say, Have you gone into like a procrastination hole on your phone again? Or like whatever it is, they're trying to check in, they're trying to help, they're trying to be loving, they're trying to be supportive. So being aware of that RSD creeping in a little bit and reframing it gently in our brains. Because if we can calm ourselves and our nervous system, we're not going to have that fight or flight, that kind of like reaction. Um, Okay, next slide. Where's my cursor? Where's it gone? Oh, here we go. That's weird. RSD. So I think it comes up in most of our calls, but we're going to go over it again because this is one of the biggest ones. When it comes to so sorry, I'm just gonna let the dog in. She's gonna distract me. Okay. Hurry up. What are you doing? You crazy? Are you crazy? Sorry, I'm at my dad's house and we just got here today actually down in Devon. She's like scratching away at the door, and like one of his things is dogs ruin houses. I'm like, no, they don't. She's there at my door, scratching on his doors. Okay, fine. Sorry guys. Okay, so yeah, RSD comes up so much, and often it's nothing. It's not to do with the relationship. It's not to do with the person. It is all about us. It's our unmet needs. It's our childhood traumas all coming out and flooding us at once. So you forgot me. I'm unlovable. This is kind of more the when we're looking at social like friendship dynamics. People get left out of groups, work drinks, that kind of stuff. These things happen. Things get slipped, but we take it really personally. So it's not fear of rejection, it's a physical and emotional pain response to anything that feels like disapproval, exclusion, or being left out, even if it's subtle or completely unintentional. So some really common examples in relationships: you're texting someone you're dating or really close to, you share something vulnerable, and they've left you on red, or they take hours to reply. Who else struggles with that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult.
The brain instantly does just go into a spiral like, oh my God, that was an overshare. Was it an overshare? I don't know if it was an overshare. And then maybe we try and like explain. So, well, this is like the brain's example. They've gone off me. I'm too much. I knew I messed this up. You feel sick, anxious, ashamed. You either shut down or start over texting, over explaining to try and fix it. I am such an over explainer. It's not even funny. Like I will go to the nth degree to make sure someone fully understands what I meant by that and not by this. And it gets embarrassing. And then they message back, hey, yeah, sorry, I was just in a meeting. Everything okay? There's like 50 messages from me. And the shame comes in and all of it. And it's just so exhausting. So at that moment, we have to really grab it and see it for what it is. If someone is genuinely going to read a message from you where you've been vulnerable or you've been open and it's come from a good place and it's kind and whatever, if your brain, if we really think that they're going to read that and go, I just want to ignore that, how real is that? How often is someone actually going to do that to another human? It's very rare. People are not that unkind. So it's going to be that they're busy. It's going to be that they just haven't got time to get back to you, especially if it's your partner or a loved one. Or if it is your partner and they do want to ignore that, maybe we have something else going on. We need to talk about that a little bit more. But more often than not, it's our brain telling us stories on top of stories. So another example of RSD coming up in friendships, there's a group chat. Oh, group chats get me. The amount of drama that comes from group chats. Oh, we all liked her message, but you didn't like mine. Anyone else had group chats like that?
No, I don't know. Maybe it's a sort of like old fat man of my age. Nobody just reacts anyway. There's half of my mates. I put group chats together. They never gave a message on it anyway. It's just, I've accepted it as what it is.
Or what about
I have no expectations. So
what about posting something on a social media?
yeah, I find that really weird. Like some stuff, I'll do something, and like all of a sudden, it's like I put something up the other day, and it's like got like 70 likes on it. I'm like, what the hell? You know, sometimes it's bizarre if it's like algorithms and stuff and things that land. I find if I put anything up to do with like a celebration or a birthday or anything like that on Facebook, it gets recognised. Anything random, nope, doesn't land, doesn't thing, and just stuff landing. I mean, I know just within this group thing, I can never understand if things have landed or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how things land or how other people see it, and what's in my head is often not what's been received. So,
and what's come out. And this is where the brain starts spiraling. Did that come out right? Did they understand what? And this is where I would probably then follow up and go, but by the way, when I said that comment, what I actually meant by that was, and I'll start really explaining it. So the point it's embarrassing. It's like, okay, chill out. We don't like chill. We don't hate you.
I've naffed up a few times, on this group. I've done it a few times, but I just don't know how things land.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not about the landing of it. Sometimes it's just that people are busy. Or perhaps, especially with ADHD, especially if we're looking at like the school platform where we're posting something, if they're not in it in that moment and you've posted, okay, let's say someone's busy at work and you posted something about a hiking weekend or I don't know, a trip that you did, they're not in the space to think about free time, exploration, play. So they're not going to engage with it. So online, text messaging, all this kind of stuff, it's so dependent on the environment, on where they're at, the other person, what they're doing. If it was a face-to-face conversation and you said, well, I don't know, you said a funny joke, we'd laugh back instantly. But online, it's very different. And this is where we have to try and train the brain to kind of go, this isn't real. This isn't real life. This is all online. You don't know what the other person is going through on the other end of that phone or screen or whatever it is. So yeah, this one in a friendship group, you're in a chat and your friends reply to everyone except your message, and your brain says, they're mad at me. I've done something wrong. You feel rejected, even though logically you know. They're probably just distracted. Again, talking, he's throwing up in the corner. Now, Coco, thank you. Good. You okay? She's on antibiotics. This dog has cost me so much in the last month. I want to cry. Okay, let me just move this down. Can you hear her? Can anyone else hear that? It is
No.
so distracting. I actually wish I left her outside scratching. Okay, so RSD makes small things feel massive. It hijacks our sense of worth and floods us with shame. And then we respond from that place. So we come back from the wounded person, the wounded child, or the person that's kind of feeling like they're being attacked. This might look like withdrawing, over apologizing, getting irritable, trying to fix it by it being extra nice. I remember once I think it was a night out with girlfriends, but for a birthday, and someone said something in the group chat and it was just really off. I didn't go for the night out. I mean, this is years ago now, I was probably in my 20s, but I didn't go. I was like, I'm not going now. I didn't go for that birthday night out because one person said something that felt off to me. But it wasn't, and it wasn't aimed at me. But that's where my brain took me. And so it can really mess things up. The loss of connection there because I didn't go on the night out because my brain took one message on a WhatsApp group chat the wrong way. This is why it becomes really hard, because to know the difference between our intuition, which typically we do have really strong intuition with ADHD, we do have really strong gut feelings. I'm yet to meet an ADHDer that hasn't said, I can read a room. I can go into a room and I can tell what everyone's feeling and thinking at one time. Everyone I've met with ADHD thinks they have this superpower. We don't. We just have hypervigilance. And this is a learned behavior because we've always been looking at, am I doing this well? Is this enough? It's the criticism, it's the shame that we received as a child. It's a learned behavior. So we need to try and not trust the first thought that pops into our head if it's a very negative one. Now, this isn't to say, you've met someone, when you meet someone and you just instantly feel like, oh, I don't like this person's energy. We're not saying stuff like that, but it's more if something's been said or done and we're taking it as an attack, that's when we need to pause. If it's an irrational kind of, this doesn't make sense. So then ask, is it fact or is it a fear? Where is this coming from? Why is my brain taking me here? Check in with the person instead of assuming. I love this one. The amount of times I've coached people through relationship stuff and I'm like, the conversation normally goes, well, they said this and then because I did this and they said that. And I said, well, did they say that? Like shocked. Did they actually say that to you? Well, no, they didn't actually say it, but I know that's what they meant. That you don't. There's no tool in the world that can actually tell us what another human is thinking. There isn't. We don't actually know what another person is thinking or feeling unless we check in and we say, sorry, can I just check? Is this what you meant by that? Because that's how I took it. Or just simply asking, what did you mean by that? Instead of being, the defensive. Or, Jeff, going back to your thing, did that land? Hey guys, just checking in. Did that land okay? Just ask it. Make it funny.
Yeah, because I've got on the 29th this month, I've got my first team meeting with my brand new team from a new job. And it's like you never get a second attempt to make a first impression. So I've been trying to.
I disagree.
But a first impression is a first impression, isn't it?
First impression.
Yeah, you never get a second attempt to make a first impression.
Yeah, second attempt to make an impression.
But you can make an impression all the same. But what I have thought of, and I picked up on this, but I don't know if this is too deep. Can I throw this out? It's very quick, boss. I throw it out. I did a presenting with impact course, and part of that I did a thing about me and my sister. It was autism and ADHD, a sibling story I called it, and the misunderstanding we've had. Now, one of the main things is I caught for the existing team. I was including in a few emails, and I just like threw something out there about communication and the massive thing about communication. That's the thing that's frustrating everybody the most. And it's like, well, if I could misunderstand and miscommunicate with my sister for over 40 years, and it's just asking how people like to communicate and trying to make that as a thing and using that to break the ice. It's very personal. It might be a bit too heavy and it might be a bit too deep for some people, but it's very personal. It makes me very human. So always I'm very wary of that. I don't want to come across as bullshitty and corporate because I'm just not that kind of person.
No,
But
I love that. I actually love companies that incorporate what's your communication style. Do you have any trigger words? Do you have any things that, so especially the best managerial type things that I've seen where from corporates are these like about me packs that they give out. And a lot of them are kind of going, how can I best support you? Do you want weekly check-ins or do weekly check-ins feel like pressure? And if we do a weekly check-in, what's the language you want me to use? Is it something like, hey, we said we were going to do this week, this week. How are you getting on with that? Do you need my help? Rather than, hey, you said you'd get this done this week. Is it done? Same, yeah. You ask the same thing there. It's just two very different language styles. Some people like to kick up the arse of, did you get it done? Some people like being spoken to like that. Others don't. And so I actually just love the, how can we communicate?
yeah, it's like, I love phone calls because I'm dyslexic and I hate typing and I hate reading. I prefer phone calls. And
I hate phone calls.
and you say some people hate phone calls, and this is so it's trying to find out, like, if I need to communicate with somebody on a regular basis, and they hate emails and I hate emails, then great, we're on a different thing. But if we need to find that middle ground on what works and how best.
Yeah.
Because if you keep, it's like if somebody's doesn't like, say, like Alison, she don't like.
Oh, has everyone gone? Has my internet gone? Is everyone still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, Jeff's gone.
I think it was just Jeff.
Jeff's gone. Okay.
Charlotte, did you do that? Did you? I was just going to say, we have at work, we've done our insight profile, so we know where we sit. And then as part of that, it says like how you like to be communicated. So we then have created a bit of a tots trumps card. So we know whether people like to be dropped in on how to best communicate with them in that sense. So I can look at anyone, I know my team anyway, but I can actually go to someone else in the company and work out, are they a blue, which is quite a detailed person, or are they kind of high level?
Color code it.
So so it's a proper insights profile. So I've got mine. So kind of just to give you stereotypes, like your blue is kind of your typical accountants, all details. You've got your red, which is your kind of fiery director type style. Your yellow is like a sunshine yellow. They just want everyone to be kind of happy. They're sociable, that kind of sense. And then you've got your green, which is kind of the cool, caring. And before we get anyone through the interview process, they have to do this so we can see what they are, to see how
they'll fit in the team.
Oh, yeah. Well, not even, yes. And no, so I know how to kind of, you can see what they're like. And it's funny because you can already say, like, we even at work events, we're kind of like, you're a definite blue, you're a definite yellow. So that helps. And then you can kind of create that. So that might be something, Jeff, you want to do either for yourself or for your team. So I know exactly how all my team.
Laura, could you share with me the pack that they sent you to do? Like, is it just like a...
So we paid a company, but I was thinking about this, thinking with AI, you must be able to do it. But I could send you mine in the report. And I did this obviously before I was diagnosed, and I was doing it before I was hired at my job. So you wonder, like, am I answering? But they do your conscious and you're less conscious. So it's really interesting. Like if you look at all the, well, I'll give you mine, Charlotte, and you can tell me if you think it's pretty accurate from when we've worked together.
Yeah, so interesting. Oh, I love that. And I love that companies are starting to incorporate. I mean, they run out the packs.
But do you not find everybody that it colour you are? It's like if you're RSD'd up to eyeballs, it's like I will shut down, clam down, and become this like dark, moody, miserable bugger that sits in the corner and says nothing, and like death staring at everybody. Or I can be like Mr. Tumble off bloody kids' TV. I'm like
you're all in until
like, please, body bag. I can be this really animated, like crazy kind of child entertainer kind of weirdo. And then there's like this whole weird bit in between that I don't know what kind of fits when it does. So I never know who I'm going to wake up and be.
ADHD. It's all
It's the Wheel of Fortune. Spin it. What am I going to be today?
I thought this about myself the other night. I went out to the pub and met a friend with two of her friends, so totally new people. And I was like, oh God, which version of me is going to come out tonight? Am I going to sit in the pub in silence and just hate my life? But actually, I went out. It was like 4 hours and I had the best time. And I came away and I was like, oh, I'm sociable again. But it is so, we don't know. We don't know where we're going to be on the right. Anyway, we're going from tangents. Okay, so back to RSD. Soothing your nervous system, being aware of when you're being triggered, journaling, guys, journal. I know I bang on about it a lot, but just writing it out, physically writing it out, it's taking it out of your brain and just being a little bit more aware of what's happening. And then soothing your nervous system. So breath work, tapping, walking, grounding, creating that pause before reaction. The biggest thing, remind yourself, the feeling of rejection isn't always evidence of rejection. Okay, next slide. Oh, okay, this is hilarious. It was not hilarious. So at the weekend, I was with a friend who was visiting, and I took them into Aesop shop. Does anyone know the Aesop soap? It's disgustingly expensive. It's ridiculous. It is so expensive, but my God, do your hands feel amazing after you wash your hands with it. Anyway, we went in and he's really ADHD, but undiagnosed, he's diagnosed, but has never done any work in it. No, he's not interested in doing anything about it. And he is quite a reactive person. So we go into the shop, put the soap on, and then the guy's like, and then just take a little bit of water and then just lather it up again. So like we're there and we're lathering it up and I'm there and it's all going bubbly and everyone's got really bubbly hands. And we look at him, he's already washing the soap off. So we start laughing and we're like, no, you got to lather it up first. Look, you need the white bit. He goes and does such a rejection over it. He was like, how am I supposed to know how to wash the hands with this soap to make that bubble? But it was so like, oh shit. You know, when someone just snaps so instantly and it just kills the whole vibe, like the whole thing's just gone so awkward. We were joking, we were having a fun time, but this is classic defensiveness coming up with the RSD and ADHD. Didn't need a defensive reaction, but the brain took it as you're being threatened right now. They are absolutely mocking you for not knowing how to wash your hands. We weren't, it was a joke. But the guy got defensive. And I see this happening so much with ADHD, defensiveness in us. Another example. Sorry, I keep having to move my screen every time. Oh no.
My husband says I do this about 20 times a day.
The defensiveness?
Every time it's always defensive. And like you said, it's like you go back to being a teenager. You just get that horrible feeling and then you snap. Like, are you nearly ready? Yeah, I'm coming. Wait a minute. It's like, ugh. And he's like, why are you so defensive? And I'm like, I'm not.
The defensiveness, I think when it gets left untamed, this creates real friction in friendships and relationships because people just go, oh, bloody hell. They back off because they're like, oh, this actually isn't fun. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. And it's not fun for us. And it's also not fun for the other people. So we have to be aware when we're being defensive, when we're being triggered into that space. Another example, someone saying, oh, you seem a bit off today. That's someone trying to check in with us. But maybe we go in our heads, oh, am I not being fun enough? Am I not good enough today? Whatever it is, this defensiveness can really create friction and create problems in relationships. People don't want to be around that kind of energy. So we have to look in at that point and ask, am I being judged here? Am I actually being attacked? Or am I just being defensive for no reason? Again, this is about soothing ourselves and kind of tapping in with our nervous system and kind of figuring out, why am I reacting that way? What is actually coming up when I hear these things? Why am I thinking so many people are judging me? Why is my brain doing that? Go to that place, talk to that place, and then soothe it. So that you can have a bit of an idea or a plan for when it next happens. You can kind of go, been here, done this. I know what this is about. I'm just going to take a minute and take a breath. It's easier said than done. All this stuff is easier said than done. But with awareness, us talking about it, you being more aware, it does start slowly happening, and we can try and like soften the little defensive gremlin in you.
It's like a constant working. It's like a constant project. You've got to. What's that Japanese word that Toyota factory uses? It's like, is it continuous improvement? There's a name for it, isn't there? It's like it's continuous improvement all the time.
I should know about this. I did a whole study piece on Toyota.
Yeah, there's a word for it. I can't remember it.
Yeah, I can't.
In fact, but it's basically just about, it's something you've got to like work on all the time, because it'll slip back and then you'll have a bad day with it and then you'll get really good and then it's something that you can't leave alone and just like, oh, fix that now, that's done. No.
We have to keep going back to it. And it also depends on your mood, right? So if you're a little bit off, if you are a little bit tired, women, if we're like certain time of the month, there are different things that trigger us.
It's usually hormones and tiredness usually, and then because it could be like dancing around the garden like Mary Poppins the day before, and then I just get up and it's like, oh, have you not made me a brew yet? And like my reply could be so much like erratic compared to the day before, and then it even shocks me, but it's already come, it's already done it, and then I think, oh God, all right, turn it down a bit, breathe.
I
go
think
and do
it's like
a bit of yoga.
Even when it does come out, and especially, Alison, if that's like at home, your partner knows you, he loves you, and he is obviously aware of like kind of what you're going through. If it does just come out and you recognize, oh my crap, where is it's coming? She's out. You can still pause and go, oh, sorry, hang on a minute, don't know where that came from. Laugh about it, joke about it, be kind to yourself about it. Because if you kind of go, oh, you idiot, why have you just done that, and walk away in a sulk and a huff, you're then berating yourself, you're telling yourself off, we're going back to being a child. Whereas actually, if we let it out and then go, oh, God, sorry, I don't know where that came from. Let me go and make your tea now. I think we need one, and just laugh about it. Because things can happen if we are completely unregulated, dysregulated, unregulated. Anyway, if we are completely off, we're off. And,
I find it dead hard to say sorry as well. I don't know what that's about.
That's the demand. That's demand.
Sometimes it comes out so easy and I'm like, oh God, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But then when I'm forced an apology and I have to do it, it's like, well, I don't feel I'm quite ready for that just yet.
That's the demand avoidance again. So that's not that you probably do feel sorry and you probably didn't want to make someone feel a certain way, blah, blah, blah. But then if it's been demanded that like, well, you should apologize, then we're going to be like, I'll do that when I'm ready.
When I'm ready,
that nice demand avoidance coming in. So as we said earlier, take a breath, give it a second, verbalize it. Just saying it out loud. Hang on a minute, sorry, that was a strong reaction. I'm just going to take a few deep breaths and come back later and repair in the moment if needed. Okay, one of my favorite, I was like, what image can I put with object permanence? And then this one came out and I was like, yep, that's my brain. So object permanence, but with people. So does anyone know what object permanence is? So object permanence is basically out of sight, out of mind. So it's the losing, kind of just forgetting things exist. So it's kind of why, like calendars, we know they're there, but we forget they exist. So it's out of sight, out of mind. This can happen with people too. And this is probably where I see a lot of my relationships failing, my friendships, especially like at the age that I am. Everyone's like moving to different parts of the country, out of London, having their babies, and we're all spread out hours apart, not seeing everyone so often. There's not the group chats anymore. We're not all in the what's happening? Oh no. It's out of sight, out of mind. And this happens with people as well. So one of the sneaky ways ADHD affects our relationships, especially with friends and families or partners who aren't physically close to us. So you have a friend you love dearly, maybe they live in another city. You used to talk all the time, but then life got busy. You keep thinking, I need to message them. But the minute they're not in front of you, the connection feels like it's disappearing. Then weeks or even months go by, you feel guilty, maybe even ashamed, and you wonder if they hate you now. Who else has had it where it's just gone so long and you're just now, you're like, it's past the point of embarrassing now. I can't reach out. Like now I feel like they're going to be like, why are you messaging me? But you probably thought about them a million times. but because we have ADHD, we don't act on it. We think, oh, I'll message them, then we don't. Normally, right before bed, just as I'm drifting off, I think about someone. I'm like, oh, I'll message them tomorrow. No, I don't. Never do. It's not because you don't care. It's because your ADHD brain literally struggles to hold people in mind without visual, emotional, or routine cues. It's the same reason we forget birthdays, zone out of group chats, or suddenly remember someone in the middle of the night and then spiral. It's not flakiness. This is how our memory and attention work. We care deeply. It just doesn't always show up in consistent behavior. And that disconnect between how we feel and how we act is where the shame starts to creep in. One of the things that I've started to do, well, I've been doing this for a while now, but I had to really work on just getting around, is messaging someone and being like, hey, forgot you existed for a little while. And then I remembered again, love you, how are you, miss you. And kind of just joking about it and explaining to people, this is how my brain is. I literally forget about people. Sometimes, this happened when I was in Australia. I was away for like 3 weeks and I just didn't talk to my parents. I forgot I had parents. I totally forgot I had a mum and a dad. I know I have a mum and a dad and I love my mum and dad dearly, but like out of sight, out of mind. I was completely off my routine. I forgot to text them. I forgot to check in.
I'm really bad with my parents and they always kind of, because they don't get it. And then I think once they watch that BBC documentary, they get it a bit more and they're being a bit kinder. But I think Charlotte, you need to make us a little thing that we can just send out on broadcast to our WhatsApp so people know. That'd be really helpful.
Yeah. I know you exist. I love you. Tell me your life updates. I'll probably read it and not reply. That's the other embarrassing one, when you then do reach out and they reach out back with like a really long life update and you're like, oh God, oh God. I was like really wanting to connect when I wanted to connect, but now you've connected 2 days later and I'm over it. That happens. Yeah. So then it's kind of like making sure we read the message when we've got time to reply. Okay, next one. Oh, what helps? So make people visible again, pin important chats. So yeah, like you said, Laura, on the WhatsApp, pinning like our most loved at the top so they stay there. Oh my God, what did I just do? Has my screen gone? Nope. Are you back? Is everyone there?
It's
Yep.
okay.
Sorry.
We haven't gone anywhere.
Set up small rituals. So like a message Monday. So this could be, you could have like a list of people in your phone. So on my notes app, I've got a list of people, my most loved, that I forget to check in with. And it's normally like, I mean, I can list it off the top of my head, but it's mainly girlfriends that have gone off and like had babies and just aren't really part of the social group anymore. So every Monday, I will message at least one of them, just a quick check-in. Or if there's no one like new to message or whatever, I will go back and just double check that I still replied to them. And this is just making sure that I'm keeping that consistency. I need that in there. I'm not going to do it. It's like unfair for me to tell myself that, oh yeah, you'll remember, I'm not going to. And then the shame creeps in that I'm not good enough because I forgot to do it. But it's unfair expectation on ourselves, basically. Photos. Anyone else like a mad photo person? Like takes photos of everything?
My missus does. She's like photo mental. Everything's documented and everything's, yeah, she loves photos.
I take photos of absolutely everything. Like absolutely everything. Even if it's like a dog walk with a friend, I'll take a picture of the dogs, or because this is my way of memory and this is my way of reconnecting. And it used to really upset me when it was kind of like, you know how everyone's like, oh, no one lives in the moment anymore, they've got their phone out. I'm not the person that sits at a concert and films the whole thing. I'm not that bad, but I will take little pictures because that's my memory, and my brain really likes to forget these things. But what I do quite a lot is I'll go through my photos in my phone and just remember things and people and places. And Apple, I don't know about Android, but Apple has this thing where it lists the faces, so you can literally click on them and then go through all your memory, and I love it so much. So bringing that connection, if they are miles away, going through those photos, reigniting that kind of dopamine, the oxytocin and the love for that person that you have through photos, through memories. Maybe forward a message and be like, haha, remember this time, whatever. Build that connection in that way. Make it fun for your brain. Just a simple, hey, how are you, is not fun. That is boring, it's tedious. Like, it's really not fun. Playlist, shared content, yeah, all that good stuff. And then be honest with people again. Communication's key, guys. Say, to them. You know, if I go quiet on you, you don't hear from me in weeks. Don't just say, oh, well, you never message me back. Nudge me. Tell me, hey, just checking in. Did you get my message? Whatever. It's not because I don't care and I don't think about you. It's probably because I've completely forgotten you. Actually, no, don't say it like that. That sounds really bad. It is kind of what's happening. And then if you haven't heard from someone else in a while, again, try assuming it's their object permanence, because it doesn't just happen for us. It's other people get this too. It's not personal rejection.
My sister's kind of given me a bit of a different lens to look through, and I've never looked at life through the lens she does. I don't know if it's the autism thing or whatever. It's just like, but if I have a day where I don't get much done, I kind of feel like it's not been a good day. I feel a bit.
Oh yeah, you said this last time. You haven't messed anything up.
Yep, you haven't screwed it up. You said a good day. It's like, yeah, I just look thinking, but it's like with communication thing. It's like we feel guilty because we haven't reached out to people, but it's a two-way street. They haven't reached out to either, and it's like, why am I beating myself up? It's it's not just all on me as well. She has made me look through things in a slightly different way.
I was thinking that as well, Jeff. That you can reach out to people and we can let our minds get away from us saying that they don't like me anymore or something like that. But there is a certain amount of self-confidence that needs to go into. It's in their court as well. They could reach out to me. My time is valuable as well, and it's that finding the balance between the two is important.
It is really important. My brain would go on that a lot more. Well, they don't make an effort with me. There are some people that are the planners, they're the doers, they're the first reachers. But if we rely on that solely, this is where relationships can kind of drift. Because it may be that person isn't an initiator. They're not going to make the first move. They're not going to be the one to plan and organize. And sometimes I do find that with ADHDers, we typically do have to be the people that I'm not tying us all with the same brush here, but typically we do have to be the people that are like, hey, are we doing that thing? Or are we gonna, I don't know why that seems to land that way, actually. I've never really thought about that.
It's always, we seem to check in. So like if I make plans with someone, I want to double check. I think maybe it's the RSD because I think I have like a massive phobia of like I turn up and then they don't turn up. I remember once my friend who's never late, she was like, and obviously I'm always late. She was 15, 20 and we've been friends for like over a decade. I was automatically like, she stood me up. She's doing this on purpose. Like she decided she doesn't want to be friends and nothing had happened. But that's where like your brain always goes. So you almost want to check in like, and we're so worried we're going to forget stuff or we've got the wrong date that I think we do that. And I remember making friends with someone else who is kind of come into my life in a bit of a different format. And they're like, no, I said I'll be there at that time. So that's why I've done it. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't confirm that. And he's like, no, I did when we made the plans and that's what's happening. I think it's those different stars of friends that you've kind of developed that with who get your kind of, I don't want to say neurotic, but the way you are and that compared to maybe people who just think differently, that you make a time and date and you stick to it. Whereas I think the typical ADHD is nothing ever goes to plan. So there's about 5 different deviations of the
plan. Just checking this definitely going forward. Yeah, totally. No, I totally relate to that. Yeah, I mean, this kind of then ties into follow through. And Jeff, your favorite word? I can't say that word now without what you shared on the last call. Follow through and consistency. I care. I just forgot. So this one is hard.
I just follow through. I can't. I know. I just can't.
This one is hard, especially in romantic or close relationships. So, classic one I had recently where a guy was like, "I'm going to send you flowers," and then he never did. Well, he was completely ADHD, and rather than saying, "Hey, I just completely forgot," he just kind of went, "Well, that's it," and it was kind of, it never happened. But then that adds more complication. So we have bursts of closeness and then we disappear. It doesn't mean we don't care. It means our memory, our working memory and executive function let us down. What helps? Use shared calendars or simple reminders, setting phone alarms, apps, there's so many apps now. Actually, I've shared a couple on the end slide for setting these things. If you say to your partner, hey, I really want to do this with you this summer, and then it comes and the winters come and you never did that thing, that to someone else is maybe a lost connection. It's something that you've said and then you've broken it. So it's like a slight place of mistrust, because it's, why didn't you follow through with that? Is it because you don't love me enough? Or, you know, and then they go in on their head. So we don't know what other people are thinking, but this is how it can seem for the other person. So if we're going to say, if we say we're going to do something, follow through with it. Make it conscious, write it down, put it in your calendar. If it's, oh, we should go to this concert, actually check when the concert is, put it in the calendar, and then put it 3-4 weeks, whatever, before, book tickets. So you remember to book the tickets. Share it with their email so that they've also got accountability that they need to be there. Maybe share it with them and then say, hey, I booked this. Please remember it's coming up in case I forget. So kind of preempting that you are forgetful and we may let things slip. Be open about your patterns. If I drop off, it's not personal. Practice, repair, not perfection. I messed up, but I'm showing up now. Be open to making mistakes. And so if you did forget the birthday, you forgot the anniversary, whatever it is, say, yeah, okay, I messed up there. I'm really sorry if that hurt, whatever. Let me make it up to you. And then actually put the effort in to make it up. It's okay that you forgot, but what's not okay is if we then follow with no action, and instead we go, oh, well, I'm just useless. I'm not good enough, whatever. I'm not good enough anyway, so what's the point? You know, when we start going in on ourselves and getting all defensive, that's when the relationships start really starting to fall apart. Because at that point, the partner's kind of like, well, so you forgot the anniversary and you also don't want to make it up. Okay, because we've gone in on ourselves. Relationships aren't built on perfection. Relationships aren't built on perfect consistency, but they're built on honesty, effort, and repair. So just always being aware of the ways that we can put that effort in and be holding ourselves accountable when we do mess up. Okay, how to strengthen connection in the ADHD mind. So how do we actually build stronger connections when our brains work like this? So like I said earlier, there are apps I'm going to share at the end actually. So use voice notes, more dopamine, less pressure. So WhatsApp, messaging people back. One of my main rules is don't open it if you're not ready to read it. So if you're like walking to the shop to grab milk and there's a WhatsApp pop up, our brain is immediately like, oh, WhatsApp, and it wants to open it immediately. But try and train yourself to be more aware when you are just automatically opening emails or automatically opening messages, to just pause and go, right, am I ready to fully read this right now whilst walking to the shop? I'm thinking of my own head right now, walking to the shop with Coco. That's where most of my messages get opened. And then they're the ones that fall through the net because, yeah, I'm not ready to open it. I shouldn't be opening it whilst I'm walking to the shop with Coco. There's too many distractions. So just raising that awareness to just take a pause. And if you have opened it, fine. Put it. There's a way on WhatsApp that you can click unread or read. So it basically makes it look like you haven't read it yet. That saves me a lot of times, if I remember. Set reminders to check in with.
Sorry, I've got to say, I don't know if everyone else finds this, but I hate voice notes so much.
I don't like listening.
And I hate voice notes because I can't see it immediately. I have to actually, there's an action for me to hear what it is. And I'm like, so annoying because I could be in the middle of something and then that comes up and I've got to stop what I'm doing. I can't just glance at the message and go, like, filter it almost and do what you said, like put it on unread. I actually have to listen to it. It's so annoying.
That's kind of why, okay, I don't like receiving them also, but it's kind of why I like them as well. Yes, they are more annoying, but what have you just said you have to do when they come in?
Yeah, no.
Isn't there some way that you can transcribe them now as well? So they can come, you press a button and it makes it come out whatever they've said in.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
I
do like listening to it. And I think I like giving them because I can get a lot more out and I do it a lot on the dog walks. And I do like listening to them because then you can go back and make them on 1.5 and you can get a bit more, if it's like a close friend, you can get a bit more of how they're doing. So, you know, so I've had an okay day or what they've done with their day can be completely different if you see how they're like the pattern of their voice and everything.
I think it definitely comes into sharing your communication style as well. So there are, so for instance, with my PA, we have a rule. I'm allowed to voice note her, but she's not allowed to voice note me because I need to be able to read her information and come back and reference. Whereas I cannot process tasks if it's verbal, if auditory. I cannot. I have to read it. So it definitely depends on who you're messaging as well. If it's someone that wants to give you a big long story life update, that literally that fills me with dread. It's like listening to a podcast whilst you're trying to do work. If that is too much for you, if that is too much for you, then just say to people, hey, listen, I know I voice note you. That's actually because I've got ADHD, and if I don't do that, you're not going to get a response at all. But can we not get into this pattern? Just explain it to people and say, I'm going to voice note you so that I know I've replied. I find it really hard to listen to them back. Probably going to sound like an absolute princess, but
the voice note transcripts features in the settings, apparently.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, Rob.
I've got a little, the tag where you can say you're available. Mine says available, but no voice notes, please.
I love that. They are frustrating. They are really frustrating.
But
everybody messages me back saying, right, your roar was too loud and usually swears, so I can't play it yet until I get home later on.
This isn't suitable. I'm in public.
Because they never know what I'm going to come out with. But I like doing it though, because as well, if I'm a little, I want them to understand my tone, because messages can be took the wrong way, can't they? So I like having a little of a laugh or something and saying, see you bye, rather than a text. I'm thinking I'm being a bit funny, but then that's me overthinking it.
Yeah, a little bit of RSD coming in. So sharing your patterns, sharing it openly, communication is key, guys. I mean, I know it is an awkward subject to be talking to people that we're with and around, and colleagues and loved ones and families, and being like, I've got ADHD, because we don't want it all to be about us, but we do have ADHD and we do have different needs, and it's okay to advocate for them. It is okay, especially if it's in the context of, I love you and I want this relationship to be better, so let me share some stuff that's going to work and not work. Laugh with the awkwardness. Humor really helps. It really, really helps. If we can laugh at it rather than tell ourselves off, it's gonna land a lot better. Create mini systems that work for you, not just what works for neurotypical people. And remember, you're not too much, too intense, or too inconsistent. You just need support, understanding, and a space to do relationships differently in a way that actually works for your brain. Okay, apps. These are some. So Gifster is an app where if you sync it with your family, so you send them out an invite and whatever, you get a reminder. Where's my cursor? Here we go. You get a reminder of like who's coming up, their birthday. It will give you, little alerts. And then also they can add if they have a wish list. So if it's a family member and you always buy them a present or whatever, you can see if there's something on their wish list. That to me is ADHD gold, because I don't know about anyone else, but choosing a gift, I think, is the hardest thing ever. I really struggle buying gifts. I get right into my head about it. It takes me weeks. Christmas is not a fun time for me because decision paralysis comes in, and if they haven't got it in stock, and it just is, it's overwhelmed. This I really like. So automated, easy. Well, you've got to do the hard work of actually putting it in first, like putting in the dates. So small ways that we can show that we care is actually remembering little things like birthdays and anniversaries and things like this. Moonpig. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of Moonpig. Moonpig saves me. That's what I use the most. And I actually have it so it automatically sends things out now. And it's amazing. And they do worldwide shipping, so it's great. And then pairing it with other stuff, so setting reminders, so if Moonpig went down or went bust or whatever reason, you're not just solely relying on that. Having it in your calendar app. Gmail's really good with this. It syncs with your contacts, so like birthdays pop up for me if you click add on birthdays in calendar settings. Batch task. One thing that I do regularly is if I have to go and buy a card, I will buy multiple cards at once. So I'll buy a card for, like a boy card, a girl card, an age card. If I know that someone's kid's turning 2 or 3 or whatever in the next year or whatever, I will batch buy cards so that they're at home. So I'm not going out and adding more resistance into doing the thing. Physical prompts, so widgets, calendars for apps on phones, so you can have them on your screen. And then be honest again. Communication. I just think communication really is key. And then my favorite, better late than never. It's better to text and be like, shit, I'm so sorry, I forgot it was your birthday yesterday. Did you have a really great time? I'd rather get that text than you just completely forgot and never thought of me at all. So kind of letting go of that shame a little bit and the embarrassment and just owning it for what it is. People love you regardless. They don't think you're an awful person just because you have a really bad memory. And if they do, then yeah, maybe we should just let go of that friend. No, that's a joke. I think that's it. That is it. That's the end of our slides. Does anyone have any questions?
Does anybody find that you have to work having ADHD? So I find it's easier for me to work around my sister, and it's easier for me to work around other neurotypical people because I end up with a better result. But I've spent my life working around other people unbeknowingly, not getting it right all the time, but I'm getting better. I'm seeing an improvement. But nobody seems to be working around me as such. I'm the one doing the working around. I do it because it makes my life better and I get a better result out of it. Whether it's an interaction, whether it's whatever I'm trying to do, but I feel like I'm the one still having to do the extra mile and work.
Yeah, I think what I don't know if that is what you're talking about there, but it feels a little bit to me like masking. Like is that what you're talking about, or
not so much masking? It's just like I know what things trigger my sister. I find it easier to work around my sister's triggers than she does to work. She finds it impossible to work around me. She finds it really paralyzing to work around it. I find if I put my brain to it, I can work around it, and it doesn't give me too much of an issue. But I've got to think about it. I've got to right, I do this, and I do this. This makes
me really concentrate, like really.
Yeah, I've got to.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
And then, but it's like at work, or neurotypical, they don't get it. They can go, yeah, I've seen this thing about ADHD, but I don't quite get it. So you're still having to work around these people to make your life easier because I want an end result, or I want something out of an interaction with a person, or an end result, or whatever it may be. I find it, if I want to get there, I need to kind of make it sit for them or make them understand. So I have to change kind of how I deliver it so they understand it and get it. Then I end up getting the result I need. So it's a bonus for me in the end. It works, but I'm still the one doing the workarounds. Does that make sense?
Do you think, Jeff, though, there's a bit of, because we're like so natural, like both people pleasers and over explainers, I think sometimes, and I've been trying really hard, they are actually trying to cut us some slack, but they don't want to point it out to us to make us feel worse. But we're so busy trying to over explain and make sure there's zero like this, that we're so focused on making sure we're not misunderstood. We miss the cues of people actually cutting us the slack and seeing around it. I'm talking mainly like in the workplace and actually like your loved ones, but they're probably more likely to call you out on your bullshit or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in the workplace, I think it's because I now like manage two people whose both daughters have been diagnosed with ADHD, and they've definitely got a touch of it, and I find them a lot easier. And then so my boss deals with us all, and so she can come to me, and I stand up for my team because I'm like, no, I know why they're doing that. It's because of this. And she goes, I don't get it, but blah blah blah, because we know we're going for the common good. And sometimes I can then explain it, and I can see sometimes I know she cuts me some slack around things, but I only realize that a little bit after the fact, rather than in that interaction when I'm so busy going, but I didn't do this, but I did this and this, and this is why I made this, and this is why I made that. And actually, even on Friday, I was like, I definitely think this is the right course of action, but because we had a bit of a run-in 2 weeks ago, I was like, right, I'm going to call her and go, this is it. And I think this is the right thing to do. But you call it, what do you think I should do, this or that? And she thought the complete opposite to me, which I was like, this is mental. I would have never like thought that in a million years. But I go, all right, I'm going to take a step back and just do the thing that you said instead of the thing that I said. Because again, the thing I wanted to do was to make the most people happy. The other thing was just something for the company, which I was like, well, that's not important to me. Making the people happy is what makes me happy.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it's actually all come good in the end. But again, it's a lot of after the factness rather than in there. So I think, you
You
know,
took a step back though, and you
you
made
know what? It's really hard in the moment. But if you actually think they were really nice to me, and maybe when you go into your new job, you're like, people in general, their initial thing is people are. There's very few people in the world who are naturally dicks off the bat, and I think we get our backs up naturally because we're so misunderstood and we're waiting to be found out because we're not good enough or we're back. We get that in our heads. But so actually, people want me to succeed and they want me to do well. It's better for everyone. But I'm not trying to preach and trying to become a little Charlotte here, but I just know I end up going through this cycle of that and then trying to go back to go, no, Laura, people want the good from you. Like everyone wants the best.
yeah.
Put that hat on and stop being a like pessimistic so and so.
I think, Jeff, if I'm hearing you correctly, what I think you're trying to explain is that the general kind of exhaustion of having to be okay for everyone else around you, and then feeling like, why don't I get the same effort back that I put into others?
I think there's an element of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I can relate to that as well, Jeff.
Yeah, I think that's such a common ADHD. It's like, wait, I do so much to make sure everyone else is okay, and they did that, and it did it, but then it doesn't come back, and I think I think we can all really relate a lot to that, and it is exhausting. It is exhausting. Just feeling like we're the ones that keep pushing.
We try so much every day, don't we? Like I feel like I'm constantly trying my best, watching what I'm saying, trying to remember what I'm doing, making sure everything's done. It's literally like non-stop every single day, trying to stick to what I should be doing. Whereas I don't think normal people have a clue how much of an effort that is for us.
No.
Like
I mean,
it doesn't even enter their head, does it?
it's very, yeah, it's
They
very.
can't get it because they don't know how we feel. Whereas Jeff, you know how your sister feels because she is different as well. So you you're empathetic and how you are with her. You
Yeah.
do that for her.
Yeah,
So
she's basically a
you
mirror
put all
of
that
me.
effort in for her.
Yeah, it is exhausting. Jeff, what I think I'd say is go back and do your energy drainers and givers task again, and just make sure that you're balancing out your how often you're spending time with people that are draining. And it's not to say they're negative, but probably just don't let them ever see that name on that list because they won't understand it. It's not to say they're negative, but people do take a lot more energy from us, and there's a lot more masking that comes in. And see, the work we do together is we want to try and remove those masks so that we're not showing up with masking, because basically what we're doing when we're masking is we're pretending, and that is fucking exhausting. It's so tiring. So just be aware of who's kind of who's radiating that energy, who's giving it to you, and you don't feel like you have to put so much effort in, and then who's taking it, and just make sure it's balanced out throughout the week. Not seeing drainers every single day, or vice versa.
I think what it is I'm on a bit of a natural high at the minute. I am genuinely kind of tripping a bit because I've got some good change, feels like good change going on.
Yeah, you got loads of exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, so I've just been on holiday, got the new job. There's lots of things going on. Obviously, my daughter just had a birthday party, so I'm on a general kind of high. But people kind of, I don't know, they see that and it's like I know I think the new team's really like, wow, Jeff's full of energy. Jeff's like kind of what I'm bringing this like new kind of like bit of a boost to the team kind of thing.
I would.
But I need to make sure I meter it and
I would
keep it measured.
You'll have a little bit of like journal on that, because I think that's amazing. You've already got that awareness. You know that you're going in with this like oomph, like power whacked right up, but that's not consistent. You can't consistently give that kind of energy.
And I know it'll like derail a lot of people. It'll be just like
when you start to teeter off.
The slow movers, and they're just going to go, what the hell? What? He's just like, can't keep up. I don't know what the hell he's on about. And there's fast movers, there's slow movers, and you've got to bring everybody along. And then if I go in, stats wide open, giving it the full 9 yards, I'm just going to lose people, and I'm gonna make a balls of it before I even start. So metering myself, measured, gentle approach, bite-sized pieces.
Anyone else have any comments, anything else they want to share that they struggle with in relationships, in friendships?
I was waiting for, sorry, I'm jumping in again. And it might be the demand avoidance thing, but it was definitely what I was called a number of times in a previous relationship, and actually someone else said it again, and I was like, oh, I'm triggered about being kind of contrarian, being a contrarian. And I think sometimes I bring it up because I'm trying to like see everyone's point of view, but they come to them. What, sorry?
Contrary mean?
Basically, so if you say, oh, that top's pink, I'm like, I think it's probably actually more lilac, but I think it's like, or and I'd be like, no, it's because I genuinely think that.
Yeah.
But I can see it, and it was already, the relationship was already in a bad place. And I thought, and it was to do with business, and obviously with what I do, I was trying to give different insights in this, and I think perhaps what they wanted was me just to go, yes, you're doing everything right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a natural thing that I was trying to do. To sometimes, yes, you do it to get a rise, and I get that, and I get that from the dopamine, but I feel like I must do it loads when I'm not meaning to.
Yeah.
My mum calls me an upstream swimmer, as in like I'm going against the flow constantly. And she's said that since I was tiny. And then I think my dad got a bit pissed off it. He's also ADHD. And he turned around and went, well, only dead fish go with the flow. And so of like a few years ago. And so that's stuck. So it can.
Yeah, I think it's just when I'm probably upsetting people with it when I'm trying to be like, oh, I can give you all these different insights I can see. And something else I read the other time, that ADHD people we've got so much empathy. We're really good at being empathetic, but we're actually really shit with sympathy. And when I looked at the definitions of those, I don't know where you've done it, like can reveal any of this, Charlotte. Those things really stuck with me in like recent times, because I'm in a bit of a like bad there at the moment. And so they're the two things.
So wait, sorry, I was actually Googling because I couldn't get it out of my head. I was Googling contrary and just making sure that I fully understood that word, because in my head I was like, contrary. Brain just went on that, and so actually I was just Googling contrary because I was like, I don't think Mary Mary's quite contrary, actually. I think she's quite sweet and lovely and kind of goes along with everything. Oh, but that's the whole point of the song. Oh, wow.
That's what came in my head straight away, the song.
Yeah, same with me. And so I've just gone on. So sorry, I was just looking up contrary, but then actually what you're describing to me again comes into that oppositional defiance disorder, which is super and like, yeah, swimming upstream. It's that permanent resistance. It's that permanent, like, well, if you say it's one, I'm going to say it's two.
I know, I just did it to Jeff, and I was like, oh, they're not trying to do this. They're trying to actually help. Like, I do it when I'm trying to be helpful, and I'm like, oh, now, and now, like, people have said it, I think they're not trying to upset me, and I don't know how to control it when actually a lot of the time it's not coming from it's not always coming from trying to get, like,
you're not trying to get a rise.
Times I do it from like trying to get a rise to get that, but it comes from a good place.
Yeah. No, totally. So what you're describing there, and often it can come a lot with, I don't know if anyone else gets this. I think this is where I would put all of this, is under the same category of, have you heard of the expression Billy Two Shows? Where it's like they've got a story, but they've got another story that's bigger and better. So that's
11 relief or whatever it is.
And you talk about, I don't know, oh, I missed my flight yesterday. Oh, this one time I missed my flight, and so people gotta go, oh, that you're making it all about you. It's that kind of, what I think you're talking about here is your impulse control. It is, yes, it's contrary. You're trying to give the opposite, or not opposite, but you're trying to give a contradiction basically to what someone's saying. But what your brain is looking for is a little bit of dopamine within the conversation. It is, and it's not a rise, it's dopamine. It's looking for this conversation's, I'm starting to check out, whether you're doing it consciously or not, you're starting to check out, and your brain's going, I need something in here. So I'm going to throw something in so that I've got something back. And so it's that dopamine part. It's your brain trying to find something and grab onto something. So it might, you're not trying to do it to be a knob and be like, Laura's
It
got
depends how picky you're being and how often, I suppose. Because if someone says it's pink and it's more lilac, that'd piss me off, and I'd say exactly the same as you. Because it's not. It's more lilac.
yeah.
Colours are colours.
I
Like,
think
if they're wrong, they're wrong. But it depends on the scenario, doesn't it?
I think in this context, what I would say, Laura, is go through. What I do is I'd make a bit of a journal, make it a little practice this week, to journal out times, make it real time when you've kind of said something and gone, why did I need to say that? One of the lessons or one of the main things that I had to learn to do, and this is impulse and talking and like saying things, oversharing was my main thing. Was did that need to be said? Did it need to be said? We love to overshare, and did it need to be said? Because in the moment, it need to be said. Like it's kind of and not to add shame to you. We don't want to add don't want to add shame
the commutes.
But just kind of be aware that if you really don't like that you're doing that, just raise the awareness to it and kind of notice when it's coming up. Because the more that you notice it and journal about it, the more you're going to see it when it's happening in real time. And you may start to go to do it and then go, oh yeah, actually no, yeah, actually now I've thought about it, I get it. And it's just not along. And slowly, you'll be able to train yourself.
Yeah, it's really difficult because actually, like, I was even in a client meeting today and I did it. And they're like, actually, that's a really good point. So I think it's
sometimes
bad because I've got a lot of positives from it in the past, and then having to question people's decisions to help them go forward in their like business and etc. in their finances.
Yeah, sometimes it's going to be your strength, and that is the amazing thing about ADHD. Like we've got these brains that fire off in very quick time that others can't. But it is that exact speed that we do need to pause on. And you can take a pause, and that's the impulse again. It's kind of being able to say, right, we can still have that thought, we can still have that opinion. Let me just analyze. Do I definitely want to share this with the group or with the conversation or with the person, whatever it is in that setting? Just take a moment, try and settle the impulse and go, do I definitely want to share that? Is that going to be helpful? Is it going to be, yeah, I do actually. And then go with it. And actually, if it comes back that, wait, is that going to be helpful? If it comes back a bit grey, then maybe leave it. Just try it, test it, see what happens. Okay. Although I didn't actually just find, Jeff, maybe you can say different, but I didn't find what you just said to Jeff contradictory. I was like,
no, I think there's all elements that
yeah, I think I don't know. I think that's the problem. Like that is genuinely something I thought, but I've also very aware that Jeff said I have to work harder on it. I'll go, actually, I think people do work, and I don't know that for sure, but it's something that I genuinely think, and that's where I think I find it hard, where it's genuinely coming from a good, and now I'm over explaining. It comes from a good place, and like I don't know when it's coming from a good place and there, because I think I would say 95% of the time, like I am just kind of like, oh, but I'm trying to make people feel better about it. Like, oh, you haven't changed it, but he's so funny, and actually, this is why, like, to make them feel better about the fact that I'm like, I think you really should have just trained your dog to come back. It'd be a lot easier than what we're dealing with now. Do you know?
Yeah. It's like,
I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah. All it is.
I do that, Laura, all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that we don't notice because it's actually paid dividends to us for so long. And it isn't until it becomes a problem. Again, this was someone who was dealing with a lot of stuff and they were very touchy about stuff. And again, they were autistic. So I think I was probably having a bit of a clash of communications there. But then just someone said the same word and saying crunchering, they're not common words. So when like it was said to me again, I was like, recoiled in like, oh shit, it's me, like I'm the problem.
I mean, I just do it from the
point
of view.
I'm the problem in a lot of things. What's the common denominator? I'm there all the time.
Me too, Jeff. Me too.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Rob? I'm intrigued.
I was just going to say I do it all the time when somebody's moaning about someone, and I kind of say, well, have you thought about this is how where they maybe have come across, and then that person gets, well, why are you siding with that person? You don't know them really.
Exactly.
I'm like, well, I'm just trying to give a different point of view, and maybe I should have just shut my mouth and just let them moan because they're not looking for a solution.
Sometimes it's easy just to let it.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Let
That
it
thing of saying to people like, do you want a solution or do you just want to listen? Do you just want to rant?
Yeah, that's a good line, that.
I do that to my wife all the time because she's had a go at me so many times for just jumping into solving a problem because that's what I do. And she's like, I just want to moan.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
No, that's good. I bet
I know how she feels.
saying that.
My boyfriend is so practical.
Yeah.
I just want a bitch.
just plugs in, let me talk at you for a few minutes. Yeah, never want.
That's why we need voice notes, because then your wife needs to voice note you, because then you can't jump in and try and fix
it. That's true. And then I won't listen to them. It's fine.
And then you haven't got the chance.
I won't listen to them. Everyone's a winner. She gets it off the chest.
Brilliant. Oh, this is so good. Okay, amazing. Right, anyone else? Any final questions, queries?
Just to say that I found actually this quite close to home. I found it quite difficult to deal with. I think there's a lot here that I definitely need to address, especially that oversensitivity on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I think I fall into that trap quite a lot.
Yeah, all normal.
I feel you, Rob. I feel you, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All in our world. Do not worry. All things we can work on, which we will work on. Exciting.
You called me a diva the other day. Diva? What's that?
Yeah, I've never actually. That's quite impressive, actually, Jeff.
I know.
Male version of me.
Diva.
What a princess, but not a diva.
Yeah.
Right, next call, guys, is
hiking.
Is it?
Next Tuesday. Hiking.
Is it tomorrow? No, wait.
No, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then I'm so excited. Oh my God. So I got pictures sent from Joe today. He went and did a recce of where we're going to go swimming. Wait, is this going to let me show?
Wow.
It looks insane.
Oh,
it's going to be cold. It's from a mountain.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I need to tally up final numbers, actually. I think we've all got our own bedroom at this point. If not, some of us might have to share.
I'm gutted I can't come.
Same.
I
really would have come. I was reading it all, but my husband's doing his first DJ set on the Saturday.
Oh, you got to be there for that.
At his brother's pub, like for the afternoon, so I've got to go and support him. Otherwise, I definitely would have come.
We'll be thinking of you whilst we're hiking a mountain and freezing off.
Yeah, I'll be thinking of you lot with a gin and tonic in the beer garden.
Slotting up a mountain. And then, okay, so that's the next call. And then we've got the pub quiz night, which I'm really excited about, which I think is that same week. Crap, I double booked it. Oh, no, wait. No, ignore me. Ignore me. It's the following.
Have you also booked the call next week for when you're meant to be having a week off, or are you having your week off in September?
No, my week off's next week. What call's next week?
But you've booked a call for the Tuesday. Isn't Tuesday the 12th? Then we're meant to be having the walking call.
Oh, I have. Yeah. Okay. That's not really. I mean, it is. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Work call. I mean, when you run your own thing, you're never actually off. You're never actually off. I'm just not doing full on.
No, I was just trying to remind you to.
That's good actually, because I did put a whole message out to be like,
no, I was like, don't contact me, but then we're doing a call. So
no, there is actually a club call. There is a club call. No, you guys can still message. I'm still going to be around and online. I won't be doing the co-working call, and there won't be a. Yeah, we will have a call. Fine, whatever. Okay.
When's the pub quiz? Sorry.
Pub quiz is. Is it on there? No, obviously not.
Are we going out?
No, I wish. We're all over the country. It's too far.
Is it online?
We're dissipated like the deadly sins.
It's going to be an online one, but he's going to use. He's incorporating. It's Jacob. I just had an absolute mind blank. I hate when I do that. It's Jacob. He's on the club. And he's a game show host. And he's gonna use tech. So like we'll be like doing the thing, but through apps. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. And I think there's gonna be an ADHD thing in there, which.
So next week, Charlotte, then you're off. So there's no fuck up Friday coffee catch up, and there's no co-working.
Why is there a fuck up Friday in the calendar?
Yeah, for the 15th, Friday the 15th.
This is really bad. This is really bad. I'm just going to stop recording here, actually, because